Higurashi here, and today, more Higurashi! Chapter 2! Yay, Higurashi! Microphone, don't do that. Microphone! Okay, now you can't. Wait, maybe if I just switch it? There, now it could be closer to me, but hopefully it won't fall down a little. Yeah, so let's get going on this chapter. Yay! I hope everything sounds okay and stuff. I really do. Okay. More! Okay. Oh, we're on chapter 3. Okay. I'm a liar. Oh, and it still says Toho Monday. Alright. Chapter 3, Higurashi. Which is actually chapter 2 and chapter 3. So weird. I just want chapter 2. But that's not a thing. What a Nagashi. Yes, got it. So it should be updated now. Sorry. Alright, so we're actually on chapter 3. We finished chapter 2 last week. My bad. What's the music, though? The music's intense! So that's pretty cool. Continue. Okay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Listen up, everybody. Oh, I can't. Alright, so clicking. If you don't take. Who's talking? Listen up, everybody. If you don't take cooking seriously, somebody's going to get hurt. This is a part of your education as well, so don't fool around and do it seriously. A lazy yeah wafted through the class in response. Half of the school day today was going to be home economics class. The plan was for everybody to make curry rice and give it to the forest rangers who let this building be rented out as a school. If everybody were making curry in the same pot, it would have been more of a party-like atmosphere, but this was school after all. Excluding the youngest students, each one of us would be making our own curry, with the results being judged. Alright everybody, it may be that nowadays curry is an easy meal anybody can make, but it has its roots in traditional Indian cuisine. Even though we've altered it a bit in the Japanese style, it is still instilled with the knowledge and culture of ancient India. Absolutely do not neglect that fact. I'll have words with anybody who doesn't take this seriously, so be prepared for that. That seemed like a needlessly passionate sermon on curry. Well, whatever. Ah, my hair's stuck in my headphones. Ow! Rude. I needed water. It's a rumor that Chie-sensei has devoted her life to curry. She'll probably be a pretty strict judge. As long as you're not failing your grade in home ec, she doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter at all. I wouldn't say that if I were you. The teacher's a tyrant when it comes to curry. What the heck does that even mean? A curry tyrant? Never heard of that before. You see, our normally mild-mannered teacher, for some unfathomable reason, is a stickler for curry. Unyieldingly so. Curry? Yeah, it's said that every year she goes on a journey to India to research mythical curry. Mythical curry? Hi, Catchy Toaz! Welcome to the stream! Welcome! Thank you for joining! I hope you're having a nice day today! Hello! This is just a rumor, but it seems that she eats curry rice 3 meals a day, and if she occasionally has something else, it always has to be curry flavored. That's not unyielding. That's a natural. Is she part of an evil cult or something? Besides, doesn't curry top the list when it comes to junk food? Curry 3 times a day is just weird nutritionally speaking, and... Thunk, thunk, thunk! Embedded into the table right by my fingertips, a chef's knife, ladle, and spatula hummed gently as they still quivered. The teacher, while still mixing her own pot, was looking this way, smiling. Oof. K-Chan, shh! If you say any more, you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Saying even a little bit more would make the situation a lot more dire. Yeah, just be serious and make your curry properly and everything's good, alright? I don't think it's going to be that easy today. Look, Mi-chan is... It's written all over her face. If the playing field is even and we're being judged, there's no way this won't turn into a competition. It looks like we're all on the same page. It's a cooking contest! I knew it! There's no way Mian would leave such an enticing event alone. Never. Now, how shall we determine the victor? By how the teacher judges it? As if saying, but wait, there's more. The teacher reappeared with the principal in tow. The purpose of today's event is to show appreciation for the people at the forestry service, so they'll be judging the results with me. Yep. Our teacher and I, as well as 5 people from the forestry service, will be judging your cooking. Good luck to everyone. Gah! Even the principal, looking around, it seemed like the interest of everybody in the class had been piqued. So, that's what's happening. This isn't going to just be some casual curry-off. Rina is good at making curry. I'm not going to lose today. My grade is cooking in a group, so I'm together with Rika. That's unfair! I'm pretty sure that Rika is good at cooking. My curry is so tasty it'll send shivers down your spine. What about Mian? She doesn't seem like she's too good at cooking. Her type has always been bad at this kind of thing, but Mian continued to look unconcerned. I'll tell you what K-chan is thinking right now. Mian is definitely bad at cooking. Am I, right? I don't like the way she said that. It couldn't be. Mian couldn't possibly. At that moment, the teacher whistle sounded. All right, everybody, are you ready? Be very careful with the knives. Start! The call to arms had sounded. We had to use an outdoor kit to cook the rice, but it wasn't that difficult for a camping veteran like me. Put the rice into the canister, push your palm to the bottom, and fill it with water just above the wrist. Are you alright with only that much water? If you don't put in more, it could be bad. You filthy liar. If I put in any more, I'll just be left with some half-cooked porridge. Satoko, if that's meant to be a trick, it won't work. I'm used to cooking rice with these utensils. First it starts to bubble, then the steam starts to puff. And don't take off the lid no matter what. Kitty-kun, you're amazing! This is a little unexpected. Did you learn this at summer camp? My dad really likes to go camping, see? Whenever summer comes around, our family goes a lot. So this means everybody's good at cooking the rice. In other words, the critical part of this challenge will be the curry. Curry is Rika's specialty. We'll cream you all. You lost me at Rika's. Why don't you help with the cooking too? Maybe Satoko-chan is helping the most by doing nothing at all. Eep! The ends justify the means! I just have to win! That was a pretty malicious comment from Rina. And Satoko took a hook, line, and sinker. Rina could only apologize between fits of laughter while Satoko chased her around. Well now, should we move on to the curry? For now, the battle truly begins. After rinsing off the carrots, potatoes, and other standard vegetables, I grasped the knife. Go. What will today's curry taste like? As Rina hummed along, her very well-practiced hands wielded her knife. The rhythmical sound of the knife hitting the cutting board and harkened to kind images of days long past. Simply put, it was perfect. It was so calm and practiced, I seriously don't stand a chance. I looked over at Satoko and Rika-chan. Satoko was in charge of washing the vegetables, while Rika-chan was in charge of peeling them. That's what I heard being discussed, but Rika-chan's knife skills are something else as well. She probably was happily rotating the potato and peeling it quite quickly. On top of that, the peel spanned the entire potato. What was that called again? Katsuramuki? Katsuramuki? I've heard that peeling a vegetable in one loop around like that is a highly regarded technique. She picked up the peel from the sink and carved a pair of eyes into it with her knife. It's a snake! Roar! Saying that, she placed a longly peeled potato skin on top of the head of a boy from her group. She wasn't even breaking a sweat. When it comes to Rika-chan and cooking, I couldn't even hold a candle to her. But roar? Do snakes that make that sound? No. Alright then, how's Mion doing? She's definitely just bumbling along. There's no way she could peel a potato so effortlessly like that. Absolutely no way. This can't be! You've gotta be kidding me! This is a trick! She's using special effects! Where's the wire? She's definitely using a wire! Hee. Here, take a look-see. As if she had already won, Mion proudly showed me the elongated potato skin. You didn't know, Kichi? Mi was taught how to cook by her grandma. Not just cooking! From sewing to flower arrangement to playing the koto. From marksmanship to radio operation. Even helicopter piloting is but one of the myriad things she can do. Strangely enough, the latter's items were more realistic. It was the first few times on that list that seemed like a lie. She's actually really good at cooking. It's just such a hassle that she never does it though. Damn it! I'm also really good at cooking, especially Chinese food. Kechi, boiling something and pouring it into a bowl doesn't count as cooking. Shut down before I could even say it. Oh ho ho! Too bad for you! Today Kichi-san shall be assuredly languishing in defeat all alone. Clank. Tough words from somebody who can't even cook by herself. Wah! Rika! There. I'll destroy Kichi for you. God, this does not look good. Everybody is smirking at me. Don't raise the white flag yet, Kichi Mabera. Don't throw away this match. Calm down and think. Not about how to peel these potatoes well, but about how to win this challenge. There's too many people watching. I'm going to work at another sink. Saying only that, I gathered up all the vegetables and left the spot behind. Will Kichi-kun be alright? I'm worried he might cut himself with his knife. Let's see what K-chan's doing. No matter how hard I try peeling these, if I slip up at this speed, I'll lop my fingers right off. Then, there's only one thing left to do. Tomoda-kun? Okamura-kun! Oh, you guys were in a group of 4, huh? It was the 2 underclassmen that had become my sworn brothers ever since the event at that toy store last Sunday. They had been paired with 2 girls for their group. Yep, both the girls are pretty good at cooking. So both of us could just mess around and we'll be okay. Both of them pointed at the girls. They're not as good as Rina, but they were both good enough to handling a knife. I'll get straight to the point. At this rate, I'm going to lose this contest. Give me the vegetables your group has peeled already. Mabera-san, that's pretty much theft. But depending on what's in it for us? In other words, it depends on the terms of negotiation. Quite bold of you guys. Well, that's to be expected. Then let's do this. If I win, I'll let you eat the curry that Satoko and Rika-chan's group makes. How about that? I don't know about that. Both of them were hesitant after such a weighty proposal. Just one more little push seems in order. Very well then, let's make them an offer they can't refuse. I put both of them close to my shoulder and made my offer in a hushed tone. What's the offer? Of course, that includes the part that Satoko and Rika-chan have already eaten some of. I'll even throw in spoons. Splooge! A red mist spouted vigorously from the noses of the 2 underclassmen. Kichi-san is also pretty good at this. Those are some very nice potatoes. Having brilliantly cleared the vegetable peeling challenge, I return to my comrades in triumph. What a cheater. Whoa, amazing! Amazing! Kichi-kun's peeling is really good. He's cheating. That's not quite right. What K-chan has bared isn't a potato, but his fangs. Yeah, I'm super serious about this. I'll crush you all by cheating. Having finished preparing the vegetables, next is to boil a pot of water, then add the vegetables in order of which takes longest to cook. I learned this part from my mother when we went camping. But just cooking in order, it probably won't garner a lot of points. Look over at Rina. She had a variety of vegetables cooking together in a delicate balance. She wasn't being ambitious or calculating a way to win the game. She was making delicious food with a mother's touch. I have a feeling that I could somehow compete with Mion in terms of technique, but I would be no match for Rena. She was way out of my league. When my mother makes curry, you see, she always uses lots of ingredients. That's why Rena's curry uses a lot of ingredients as well. I really wanted to take all night and stew it nice and slow. How? I beg of you, will you please help just a little with my curry? No. This is one for our club activities. Rena won't lose. When she enters club mode, even the normally kind Rena becomes an enemy. Looks like Rika-chan is cooking apples as well. She likes a pro at this. How about Mion? What? Mion knew? What the heck is that? Where did you get meat from? Ooh, she got meat. I predicted what we would be doing today by looking at the schedule, so I prepared accordingly. My curry is going to be marvelous. Upon closer inspection, it looks like Mion brought her own vegetables and spices and other ingredients. They were spread all over the table. Is that allowed? Mion, just for today, you brought all this stuff from your house? Objection! Chie-sensei, there's no way this is allowed, is it? Objection overruled. As long as it makes for delicious curry, anything goes. Ugh, for that normally serious teacher to go so far as to append a star to the end of her sentence. Just as the rumor said, she's a through and through curry freak. Rena and Rika-chan are naturally gifted chefs. I've come with thorough preparations. And, Kei-chan, what about you? It's hopeless. In the grand scheme of cooking, peeling the vegetables is only a small part of it. The hurdles I must overcome are just too numerous and too high. Mabara-san, over here! Turning around, I saw the voices calling me belongs to the two underclassmen from earlier, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun. What's up, you guys? What's up with that pot? Is that from your group? Switch this with your pot before somebody notices. I think that curry from the girls from our group made, at the very least, is better than what you could make. You guys, for me, don't get the wrong idea. If you don't win, then that is... Oh, that's right. If I don't win, then the talk of eating Satoko and Rika-chan's curry goes right out the window. It seems like you guys are getting riled up about this too. Sorry, I'm in your debt, but I'm surprised the girls in your group agreed to this. Mabara-san, we're also serious about this. Filling in on day duty 3 times, these guys, to assure me victory, have paid the price. The gate is filled with burning conviction from my underclassmen. Yeah, I'm not fighting this alone. I'm fighting this with everyone. 2 underclassmen, that's not everyone. Leave it to me. Save some room, boys. I'll definitely let you eat your fill. We shall be eagerly awaiting your victory. Water. It's a gas stove, so controlling the heat is easy. All that's left is to let it stew a bit. The delicious smell of curry began wafting upwards. The pot gifted to me by my 2 underclassmen certainly drew some double takes. Rena even looked surprised when she came to take a look, so it must be pretty good. Kei-chan, you're pretty good. It looked like this'll be a good match right to the bitter end. Rena wants to... Hold on. Excuse me. Rena wants to eat Keiichi-kun's curry. Rena's curry and Mion's curry too. Everybody is a worthy opponent. I've done my very best, but I'm not sure of the outcome. Keiichi-san, Rika's calling you. Go see what she wants. What? Rika-chan's calling me? What could it be? Well, whatever. While I'm at it, I can gather some intelligence on the enemy. Rika-chan was doodling on the ground in front of the pot, because all that's left is to let it stew. Even then, it's good to know that she doesn't leave the stove unattended. Oh, I do. Hey, Rika-chan, how's your doings? It's Mr. Curry. Huh? Rika-chan was doing something strange and introduced it as Mr. Curry. Mr. Curry is amazing. He shoots beams from his eyes. Pew pew! Apparently, Mr. Curry shoots beams from his eyes. Drawing a beam with a stick, she etched a line towards my feet. Does this mean I've been shot with a laser? Whoa! Barrier! Beam reflect! I took another trick in my hand and reflected the beam, striking Mr. Curry. Mr. Curry can shoot missiles from his stomach. Pshoo! Ha! Mabara super electromagnetic barrier! And retaliatory beam! Mr. Curry absorbs the beam energy and fires his impulse wave cannon. Rika-chan and I scratched at the ground, thoroughly engrossed in our doodle war. Wait a moment. Hey, Rika-chan, you called me here for a reason, right? Yes, I called you, but I've already fulfilled my purpose. At that moment, a chill ran up my spine. Already fulfilled her purpose? They got me! Headed back to my pot, standing there just as I feared was Satoko. With no questions asked, I drop-kicked the back of her head. What do you think you're doing? You know better than to do that to a lady's head! Who cares about that? Satoko, did you mix something in with my cur? How impertinent I haven't fallen that far. Despite what you may think, I'm a fair person, you know. Then what's this incomprehensible line of ladles and plates? Leaving them all in these unstable positions? They fall over, what will you do? At that moment, a gentle breeze blew by, knocking over a ladle that was stood up on its end. The ladle, like a domino, fell over and knocked over the next cooking utensil in a row. Whap, 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 whap. Clunk, clunk, dun, dun. This is art. Come to think of it, domino world record challenges were quite the rage on television a while back. K-chan! The frying pan! I didn't even have time to react. The chain reaction knocked over a cutting board, then a frying pan. The next after that was my pot. Crash! Oh, sugar. The fry pan struck my pot full force, tipping it over. The contents cruelly spilled out, and now my masterpiece was being sampled by the schoolyard. I stared, dumbfounded. It was such a beautiful and elaborate moose trap that for a moment I lost touch with reality. Oh my, this is a catastrophe! I didn't do anything, you hear me? Oh! At the very last moment, I had let my guard down. I ignored the culinary incompetence Satoko for far too long. Even if she couldn't cook, Satoko still had this method of fighting back. Just then, Rina, who had been sampling her own pot, let out a scream. What? Rina's curry is salty? Salty? Was Rina also sabotaged? Then what about Myeon? My rice is salty! I've been hacked! With this small, all the obstacles in my way have been taken care of before the fight even begins! All that effort wasted. So sad, so sad. So very, very sad! Rika-chan and Satoko rubbed my dumbfounded head in their heart's content. Pushing the desks together, it was about time for the meals to be judged. The delicious odor of curry spread throughout the courtyard. The members of the forestry service, to whom we owed gratitude for their daily work, were guided to their seats. The principal gave a bit of a ceremonial introduction. Next, the teacher expressed her desire for them to judge the curry contest. The men from the forestry service seemed to like that kind of thing and gave their enthusiastic approval. Well then, is everybody finished? We'll now have all the judges sample your cooking! Everybody in the class brought up their painstakingly made curry and arranged them on the desk. The only club members who managed a decent result were Rika-chan's group. Knowing full well it was a failure, Rina plated her curry for the judges. She already knew she was going to get a low score. Sad day. All because of sabotages and cheating. But at least she was still able to serve hers. Both Myeon's and my curry were completely obliterated, so we couldn't even line them up on the table. I'm sure the rice wasn't that bad, unless it was really, really salty then. I don't know. The judges started from the curry made by the lower grades. They had a lively discussion, praising the food. Finally, it was our curry's turn. Next up is Ryugu-kun's curry! Yes! This looks quite appetizing! The principal cheerfully shoveled a spoonful of Rina's salty curry into his mouth. Of course, its expression immediately changed. Oh my, what happened, Ryugu-san? It seemed so delicious when you were cooking it! Chie-sensei must have had some expectations judging from her disappointment. How? I'm sorry. I might have added a bag of salt by accident. The rest of the judges grimaced after they each had a bite. I feel sorry for them. Failure is but the seasoning for success! I'm looking forward to the next time. Do your best. Saying that, the principal devoured the rest of the oversalted curry in one go, truly a man amongst men. Rina was down and out. Her offensive capabilities were something else, but she was defeated due to her weak defense. Well then, please savor our curry next. I see that Furuta-san's group
put a lot of effort into their curry. Let's see here. It's simple but very nicely done.
There was also this incident with Rena's salted curry right before this, so the judge's assessment was extraordinarily high. Maybe not just extraordinary, but perhaps today's forerunner? The judges began a heated debate. One of those judges let out a sigh as he removed a chunk of carrot with a spoon.
Yeah, this kid's curry really isn't half bad, but I don't like carrots, you see.
Personally, I think that carrots are a staple of curry, but I guess to each their own. However, seeing that, Rika-chan read the nameplate on the chest of his coveralls and began to speak. That's no good, Kyoji. You have to eat your carrots. What is she saying all of a sudden? Everybody turned to Rika-chan with a stunned look. But what Rika-chan just did was super effective. The carrot-hating judge began stuffing his face with curry while tears streamed down his face. Kyoji, there's seconds if you want them. While crying like that, he continued to shove a curry into his mouth. That's right, Rika-chan's curry was by no means simple. No, that curry had the taste of a mother's cooking! With the carrot-hating judge out of the picture, Rika-chan's assessment was unanimous. Oh, nobody can stand up to Rika's curry! Satoko let off a shrill laugh as she declared victory, but at that moment... Don't be fooled, my esteemed judges! Don't be deceived by thinking that this meager slop is the taste only a mother can provide. What you people actually wanted to eat was this kind of curry, wasn't it? All of a sudden, in all its perfect glory, Mion's curry! Not only the judges, but the teacher, the underclassmen, and of course myself could only gasp in admiration. Hamburg steak with a demi-glace sauce, and a fresh salad. It's a set! It wouldn't be stretching it to say that this was a full-course meal. It's perfect, perfectly made. Amazing, amazing! Mi-chan, you're amazing! Mi-chan, you're amazing! Satoko was also shocked. Even Rika-chan couldn't hide her surprise. It seems the victor was decided without even needing a taste. Of course the hamburger was hand-kneaded. The salad also had a home-style dressing, but of professional quality. And the curry, not even a micron of grit. This is sublime, truly a taste to savor, Sononosuke-san. This curry is no doubt a living testimony to 6,000 years of Indian knowledge and beautiful harmony with Japanese cuisine. I'm elated. This deserves full marks. I'm giving it 100 points. You're welcome. I'm just trying to set an example as a class representative. Mion bowed politely, and then winked at us with a smirk on her face. I admit defeat. There's no way this is happening! I'm certain I sabotaged that pot of rice! That's right. Satoko had dumped salt into Mion's rice cooker, which should have ruined it. At that moment, it hit me. I spun back towards my own canister. That's why! At some point, my cooking canister had been opened, its contents completely emptied. Damn you, Mion! You used my rice! That's not fair! Hand over half of your curry! Mion clucked her tongue and waved her finger at me as the smirk washed over her face. Whoa there, Kei-chan, you're not taking this seriously enough. You gave up on that last moment. I didn't. You gave up at last moment. I didn't. That's the difference between us. As soon as you give up, it's all over. Gah! I couldn't even properly voice my shame! Mi-chan, I feel sorry for Kichi-kun. Just give him at least a little. It's fine, it's fine. This is a lesson. Kei-chan just learned that you shouldn't give up on the contest until it's all over. Right? It loathes me to say it, but Mion is right. To give up so quickly on the match was my own folly. For Mion to have brought that to my attention, I should have actually been thankful to her. Well then, did that mean that even in this situation, I shouldn't give up? My curry was overturned while it was still in the pot, and I don't even have any rice left. How in the blazes am I not supposed to lose hope in this situation? Mubera-san? Tomoita-kun and Okamura-kun suddenly appeared. Damn it! Even though my protégés had tried so hard, I wasn't able to meet their expectations. It was an accident. There was nothing you could do. Both of them were dejected.
I couldn't accept defeat so easily. I was their senior. What would I be if I didn't pick up the broken pieces of the dream I had shown them? I just learned it from Mion just now, didn't I? I don't throw away the contest, not until the last moment. Think, Kichi Mabera, think. Not about how to make more curry, about how to win the match. Okay, that's a water time. Delicious. I had no idea. I didn't think it could turn the tables, but it was better than nothing. No fall! Microphone. Tamina-kun, come and wash your hands. Help me out. Okamura-kun, there's something I want you to find. Okay, gotcha! Both of them dispersed after receiving these instructions. Oh? How is Kei-chan going to flounder about at the end? Why don't you show me? Nobody likes the stubborn fool, you know. Shut up! Just sit there and watch the last card I have to play. First off, Mion, I'll be taking some of your rice. I won't let you say no. I don't really care. It's salty after all. It's okay if Rina helps too, right? Keiichi-kun is in trouble right now. Hearing you say that is very reassuring. Well then, Rina, go make some tea. How? He doesn't trust me. Next, Satoko. Also, Rika-chan. I challenge you to a side bet. Ooh, a side bet. What do you say? We'll listen to your request. This was my duty to my two proteges who shed blood, sweat, and tears for my sake. Satoko, Rika-chan, if I receive a perfect score, I'll be taking your curry. Nothing for you to eat. You need to know when to stop joking around. I'll be giving a big no to that. No, it's all right, Satoko. Take him up on it. Firmly patting the top of Satoko's head, Mion said those words with all the gravitas of a club president. You handicapped him this much, didn't you? There's no way he can make up for that. So meet him head on. No matter how hard he struggles, he's not going to make a comeback. Right? You're going to eat those words, aren't you, Mion? Grrr. That may be true, but... I don't mind. Kichi, go for it. Yay! Aw, Rika-chan. The judges, seemingly growing tired of sampling the various curries, were debating each entry. From what little I overheard, it seemed that Mion's impending victory was not in question. By the way, what happened to Mabera-kun's curry? I still haven't tried it yet. Yeah, the pot with my curry in it fell over. Is that so? That's a real shame. I may have lost my curry, but that doesn't mean I've lost this contest. I'll have everybody singing my praises. My combative posturing and drawn the attention of all the judges. First of all, just be quiet and eat these plates. I'll listen to your complaints after that. This is my cooking! Mabera-kun, that's... onigiri, huh? The judges smiled wryly at the simple fare that was quite in contrast to the preceding bravado. Rina poured tea into the cups she had brought over from the break room. He's making a mockery of this! There, look! There's not even any filling! It's nothing more than salted onigiri! This isn't even worthy of being called a contest anymore! It's true. The amount of salt might be a little much, but... Rina's expression told me that she thought this was a great idea, but it might still not be enough to win the match. Mabera-san, is this really enough to make a comeback? Gentlemen, you did well. It's all right. Just watch. The judges were chewing with their mouths full and sipping that tea. Nobody was singing praises or awestruck. They were just quietly chowing down. It seems that Kei-chan has learned how to use some rather underhanded tricks. This might be difficult. Yeah, that's right. Rina understands that now, too. What do you mean? Why is everybody just quietly eating that much? You see, Satoko-chan, that's because the judges are actually tired of eating curry! Because they were judges, they had to sample each and every offering. And because they were from small children, because they were made to show their appreciation, they couldn't eat just a little bit of each. Sometimes a man values the amount more than the taste. At those times, rather than the rich, mind-blowing flavor, they crave simplicity. They couldn't say it out loud, but this was the tastiest thing they'd had today. I confirmed that by looking at their eyes as the judges smiled wryly. I'll praise your efforts, but today's contest was about curry. I'm not sure we could give a score to this. The teacher and the principal had folded their arms while they pondered the situation. My underlings, seeing that, saw the small glimmer of hope fade away and grew dejected. Arg, this was a little surprise, just not enough? Don't give up, Kei-chan, Mion whispered quietly. That's right. If I didn't push here... No! I'll have you give it a score! If you think that curry onigiri are really that different, you're sorely mistaken. Huh? Mabara-kun, what are you saying? How are they the same? The principal stopped the teacher. It looked like he was giving me one final chance. The judges, having eaten their full, quietly waited for my statement. In its homeland of India, curry is usually eaten with a type of bread called naan, isn't it? Therefore, you could say that this cuisine, we call curry rice, is something that we have adopted and modified. Just as the teacher said at the beginning, it's a fusion of Indian and Japanese cuisine. I know what you're trying to say, Mabara-kun, but what does that have to do with onigiri? It's actually very simple. Both curry and onigiri are things made to let you enjoy eating rice. Rice was introduced to Japan from ancient China. Our agriculture forebears, watered the fields, fighting the elements, disease, and pests to grow and raise our rice-centric culture. Yes, the Japanese people have formulated a plethora of dishes, but those were nothing more than attempts to find ways to enjoy eating rice. That's kind of true. But I love rice. Rice is really good. I love rice. In other words, curry and onigiri are both the results of rice culture! It was scattered at first, but slowly grew into a steady roar. It was a thunderous applause that praised me. Enough with the nonsense already! I won't accept this! The teachers are only judging curry, you know! This is out of the question! It's obvious it deserves 0 points! Miss, Kichi-kun did his best. Could you please acknowledge that? Today's class was supposed to be about curry. What should we do? Mion, stifling her laughter, stepped forward. There's a story about how when a Michelin 3-star chef from France came to Japan, the people from the hotel he was staying at had a whole bunch of ingredients from France imported, but the chef didn't even give them a second glance. I wonder why that was. They were ingredients from his homeland. The chef went to the local fish market and made a dish from fresh fish caught in Japan. The culture of food isn't bound by predetermined rules. It's culture. If you come to Japan, you meld with Japanese culture and make something new. That's how curry and onigiri are the same. Mion, she was providing fire support. I had to be grateful. The judges were somehow moved by this complicated yet baseless trivia. A stern look washed over the teacher's face as she refolded her arms. Is onigiri gonna really win this? Mabara-kun, your pot of curry was flipped over, wasn't it? Even though I said at the beginning to be careful. I'm sorry, but as Mabara-kun and Sonozaki-san said, there are no boundaries in cuisine. If it's something that can be amazed people, then it's not something that should be discriminated against just because of the form. Then, for spilling your pot, minus 20 points. But just for today, for not giving up and doing your best, plus 20 points. I'll give you 100 points. Mabara-san, we did it! My underclassmen leapt at me. A perfect score! We did it! The curry was split and our rice was taken, but we made a comeback. In the end, Rika-chan's curry also received full marks, so everybody but Rina had a perfect score. Since this contest was outside the scope of regular club activities, there wasn't any particular penalty game. Rina breathed a sigh of relief. Now that is promised, Satoko, Rika-chan, I'll be taking your curry. But that means we won't have any lunch! Satoko stomped angrily at the ground in frustration, but the price of defeat was absolute. Is what I wanted to say, but I'll show you some mercy. You can eat half. Thank you, Kechi. The two protégés peered over from the sidelines, tears of joy streaming from their faces. We exchanged glances that would only be understood amongst men. We did it, Mabara-san. This is all thanks to you. We flashed each other a thumbs up. Now, I just have to give these to my pupils. I've gotten pretty hungry myself. I guess I'll have one of my onigiri. Huh? There was no trace of my onigiri. The ones I had set aside for myself included. As I peered around searching for them, the principal clapped a hand on my shoulder. When I was listening to that speech you gave, the rice I was chewing grew even more delicious. Could it be that you also ate my share? The principal simply laughed without answering. Seriously? My eyes half brimming with tears and my stomach rumbling, I was called over by the teacher. You got your onigiris eaten. Mabara-kun, because of circumstances I had to give you a perfect score, but you understand, right? Huh? Understand what? There was an odd glint in the teacher's eyes. If I had to describe it, it was curry-colored. Like a pot of stewing curry, her eyes whirled around in a spiral. A chill washed over me. The teacher clutched me by my shoulders and drew me in closer until our noses were almost touching. Curry is the world's most respected and sacred of dishes. I will absolutely not allow it to be put in the same category as onigiri. You hear me? Curry was created in ancient India, one of the 4 great river valley civilizations, and was raved about during the reign of the King Ashoka in Kapilat Vastu for the birth of the Shakya at the International Food Expo Michelin. Twirly, even the Eiffel Tower was picking the simmering curry turmeric whether you are asleep or awake. Curry. She's losing her mind. Hey, Kichi-san! What are you stumbling around for? Cleaning up is part of cooking, too! Kichi-kun, are your eyes all curried? Why is that? Why? Curry. Hee. Yikes, she got him, huh? It's okay, he'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Probably. It wasn't that long before hunger brought me back to my senses. Woohoo! In the end, all the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch, I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out. Are you alright, Kichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Rina's curry. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it, is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomachache. Well, you did a good job making it through. Your absolutely hopeless situation, that is. Kei-chan, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, eh? I don't need any compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? We don't keep snacks lying around at home, and I'm out of cup noodles right now. I have ramen upstairs. That's very easy to make. Since you're enduring that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner will be really tasty. I had absolutely no intention of laughing along. I understand that mood. Well then, I'll take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really rough, man, when you're not used to the work. That job at the Angel Mart family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating. How? Being a waitress really is hard work. Mi-chan is working as a waitress? Really? What kind of place is it? How? No, I'm working at that toy store from the other day. Xian is the waitress. My bad. I completely forgot that was how it ended up being. I'm sorry. You guys look so similar, I mixed you up. Kichi-kun, who's Xian? Rina asked the obvious question. Miyeon's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Miyeon. That's right! We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Xian has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Xian got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Miyeon, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Kei-chan! Mina interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange. Is that true? Mina's never met her. Mi-chan, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister? Xian's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up? I couldn't help Miyeon out here. I could only have her and this charade. Oh yeah, I still haven't introduced her to you, Rina. My younger sister's name is Xian. I don't know. I didn't ask. I never met her when I met to Mi-chan's house. Yeah, that! You know, I'm the only one that lives with Granny. Xian lives at the family home in Okinomiya. We're not that close. So yeah, she doesn't come here too often. Rina's face indicated that she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. Well, it's not a lie. Please believe me. As she said, yeah, I believe you. A smile suddenly blossomed on Rina's face.
Rena wants to meet her. I'll go and see her time to time. What store? What store is she working at? What store?
That is... she's getting more tangled in her own little web. I couldn't tell that Mian was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues.
Sorry. I have to get to work. Later, Rena, K-chan. See you tomorrow.
Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mian headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape.
Mi-chan was kind of cute. I wonder why.
Rena giggled in amusement. Mian's always cute. Mian is the grandfather, after all. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. As I was losing the vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest. Come on in! It's open! I directed my listless voice at the door.
Good afternoon! K-chan, what are you doing?
It seemed my guest was Mian, or rather, Xian. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway. Is that Xian? Wait, why? I thought that Xian's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mian was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Xian would appear here.
I heard from my sister. Because of the club activities today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of trouble. Satoko spilled my pot and you stole my rice. But I'm Xian. She grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was the younger twin right now. Sorry, what's up? Did you bring something for me to eat?
Oh my.
It's somehow disappointing that you hit the nail right on the head, but here. With a disappointed smile, Xian held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her back.
Huh? You really brought something to eat? Thanks!
There was still some of the ground beef left over from what my sister brought to school. I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you want it. Am I bothering you?
Not even a bit. I'm really happy. Can I really eat this?
Sneaking a look inside the box, to say that she just put some of the leftovers aside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mian, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments. I don't mind at all. I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart. It's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run. Xian, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily. There's not much, but do you want to come in? I could probably make some tea or something. Sorry, maybe some other time. I'm on my way to work. Oh, that's right. She did say that before. Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please. Of course! It would only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious. Well then, I'll take my leave. One last thing. Xian grew red again as she looked down at once more. During that contest with the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right? My sister fools around too much, so sometimes she gets carried away. She wasn't doing it just to be mean. Hey, it's not like I mind that too much. There are no grudges when it comes to club activities after all. In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment. Could you tell that to Mian for me? Yes, I think my sister will be very happy to hear that. Well then, I have to go. Xian smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box that she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mian, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. But really, I don't think she would go as far as putting a needle in there. A needle. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right, that was Xian, not Mian. So there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry. Mian, when she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. Ha ha ha. Skeptical. That's right. Being skeptical is fine. It was delicious. Yay! Save. Yes. Okay. Break time. I don't know how the mic sounds at all, so I hope it sounds okay, and I didn't, like, bust your eardrums or anything. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Break time, because I'm gonna boil some water now and make some ramen. So, just a break time. And then we're gonna move on to chapter 4. Yeah! Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Break time. Okay, I'm back. The water's still technically trying to boil. But yeah. The water's still technically doing boiling things. It's not actually boiling. It's doing boiling things. It's gonna be boiling. But let's move on! That probably... I have my mouth right up to the mic, so I don't know how it sounds. It probably sounds really muffled and ugly. Sorry. But I can just eat this mic. Because I could just go, ha, but I'm not. Load. Ah, la 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 la. New tip. It was delicious. Bet it flippin' was. I bet it was. Chapter 4. There. Okay, back to it. I might have explained this before, but this ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time was spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability. I have no idea what you're saying, Kichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that, but do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? We're better athletes than you would think, Kichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. Man, screw that dash. On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's 4th period and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl on top of a pipe, Neon grabbed me by my collar. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it going to start again? Now! Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Just as I thought, it's come to this. What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as a mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear. Rina thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Hehehe, Rina knows what's up. I prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with the grand spinning flourish, but before she could do that... I'm sorry, I have something that I wanted to do. Of all people, I'm sorry, I have something I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What? Huh? What's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Waranagashi. That's right. It's this Sunday. Rika is in the middle of a super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. See, well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck! We'll be cheering you on! When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Toko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something? Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Waranagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Waranagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Wananagashi Festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Wananagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see. But Wananagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is this something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Wananagashi, or Cotton Drift, Festival is, as the name implies, there was set cotton drift down the river. The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets, so it'd be something like a futon memorial? They also pile futons up on the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Ah, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then. Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift? That's what the Wananagashi is? Mion and Rina indicated that I had the correct answer with a round applause. And you see, that Shrine Maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan! Oh, so Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her. Right? Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden outfit, how? So cute! It certainly does seem like that would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a Shrine Maiden then. That would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. The Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika-chan. Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? It's pretty heavy, enough that Rika-chan has to been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute, that's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble. Well, it's a once-a-year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer for the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? So just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude? Furude? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm cheering for you! Well then, I climbed up onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. Hooray! Rika-chan! In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now! Zzz. So you're just going to sleep after all! Yes. Sleeping is a-okay. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. Ugh, I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Ah, Kuchi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today! Basically, you always eat like a pig, but today was on a whole different level. Yesterday, I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. Aha! I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. conscientious, well-disciplined, or something like that. Yeah, Rina thinks so too. Thinks so too. Yeah, Rina thinks so too. Thinks so too. Kichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I was just wanting to say that there's a good gap between your appearance and your personality. And I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey! Sonozoki-san, Bear-kun, we're in the middle of class. How far did you get, Sonozoki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mian vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation she had stopped working completely. Doing all right. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mian, it looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. You say some interesting things. Responding to Rina's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by that, Rina literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled and always... Yep. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? That's Satoko, acting so cute. For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. My microphone fell! Alright. Oh wait, there's no sound. Wait, is there sound or is it just... What is it doing? Oh, there's music. Okay. There's some bopping music. I need to turn it up because I can't hear it. But there's some bopping music. I'm gonna check on the water. just stopped mid-yawn. Understood. I got water. Delicious water. I could honestly just eat my mic right now. And just go, I'm not. Hey, Satoko. What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. Where am I going? I don't know. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason, I took 3 steps away. Oni-sama, why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean! Oni-sama, you meanie! Sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Clank! Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Oh, you fell for it. Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly and traps began to trigger one after another. Did you just decapitate his leg? Suddenly the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me as a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but Kechi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. Sure. That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Sorry, imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in a better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying, Oni-sama, I'd hug her. Tightly. I could get used to that. Kechi-kun, you're drooling. Ah, sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it? Evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Rina managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Rina said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Rina and I, feeling as if that was directly towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. Oh, so cute! So cute! Rina, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader, Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Rina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that bellied appearances. Then what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person. Mi-chan is a good person. Oh, well, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is... Yep, I know what you're trying to say, Kechi-kun. Catching on that, I was struggling to express my feelings as words. Rina smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Rina said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like 2 peas in a pod. Although, that's the same way it is right now. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Rina, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true!
Geez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know?
Rina began to pout, but now probably wasn't the right time to joke around.
Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Kichi-kun.
Rina's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Miun's was. The Miun that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Miun that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Miun. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Miun, but as Xian. What exactly was Xian to Miun? What kind of person was Miun exactly? Ooh, is this Miun's arc?
Kichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine.
As if to say it was our little secret, Rina held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Miun, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment.
This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for life.
Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Miun was actually really feminine, right? I wonder if I can meet Xian again. I wanted to talk to her again. Getting a little crush on Xian there? The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Lame.
Whoa! It looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down.
Well then, that means even Rina?
Huh? What do you mean?
Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too?
Huh? Kichi-kun, how do you see me? How?
The Rina Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle ideal girl.
Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess.
If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her...
And if I really were the opposite?
Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Rina is...
Rina is...
Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rina, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort.
That's no fair, Kichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. How?
Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rina's face began to burn red with embarrassment.
Rina! Kei-chan! Let's go home!
Miun walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there. What was missing? What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Man, where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. I lose my house key all the... When I was younger, I used to lose my house key all the time. It's the better statement is what I should say.
That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did you drop it?
Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh?
Kei-chan, did that key have anything that would make it stand out?
Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago.
Huh? Does it have its eyes shut like it's taking a nap?
Oh, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Miun looked away and began to whistle.
See? You went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple days ago, right? That night, the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it.
As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Xian had told her about it.
Huh?
So I dropped it then...
But aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you.
That's right. Why don't you go? Xian looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Xian. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Miun might be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right, Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Xian's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea.
You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan. Is this the restaurant? The one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at?
Yeah, why don't we go together, Rena? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Rena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same, at least on the outside. Unlike Mian, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mian pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mian's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I would be able to meet Xian again gave me a mysterious feeling. Xian, a name for a different kind of Mian. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone like that. I noticed that I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Xian? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. To a restaurant. What Rena said about Mian actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The felt from spying on another side of Mian, the self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together, that was Xian for you. Mian's little sister, twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting that she was Mian, it was fine to just call her Xian, right? Mian might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. The last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Xian, get my key back. That was all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Xian would find me before she headed in for work. Hey! What are you doing, Chichimabera? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why, for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. What'd you do? I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking my sidewalk. Oh no! It was in the way, sure, but there was absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Thunk clack. Crash! As the three bikes toppled one after the other like dominoes, the loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh shit! The hell you think you're doing? The owners of those three bikes were right there. They looked exactly like what you'd call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I had never heard before. The three of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I couldn't only stare listlessly, as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized it, I had grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb! You knocked them over, did ya? Huh? The three thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away, my legs buckled, and my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accident my ass! You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there wasn't nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. To hell, man! The paint's all scuffed! You brat! You put your justice, huh? This is your goddamn fault! The three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against the telephone pole. Cracks formed in the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. They then slammed it full force into the shattered storefront. Are they making knives? The shutter let out a frightening loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flopped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. This was not normal. It was something you saw often on television or in manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these three hoodlums. No way would there be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this was what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there would be no doubt that I'd ignore what was going on. So this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you! Angry yelling loud enough to rattle my drums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcefully dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and gripped my teeth. Oh geez, he's getting beat up by thugs. You're making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight! That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the three thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Mian. She stood there, displaying an imposing stature that I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during the club. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them, the eyes of a raptor. Raptors are cool. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring things in the world. I only say this one more time. Let go of Kei-chan and get lost. Mian, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course there was no way those three wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. Ye fucking bitch! I'll fucking bash your head in! Stop it, Mian. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffings will work. Mian, it's dangerous. So... I knew what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mian get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, Mian was only bluffing. But did Mian even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. At first, it was only businessmen on their way home stopping to take a look. Then, it was housewives in the middle of the shopping taking a gander. Next, what seemed like the owner of some store showed up, and it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mian, there was already about 7 people gathered. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The 3 thugs seemed to slowly realize that there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? Behind them, at some point, 4 men, people of differing clothes and ages, had gathered. A girl who looked to be in the middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady in a house-cleaning smock. More and more, people of various ages. Their gazes, comparable to Mian's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized it, over 10 people had formed a ring around us. And that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces, some of our classmates. Then, these people were residents of Hinamazawa? More and more people from Hinamazawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okonomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away! The group surrounding us had suddenly swelled to around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mian included. That made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed out like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright, what's going on here? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go. The extortionists caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? This brat's the one that's wrong here! Mian, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course the thugs were furious. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay, come over here for a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them towards the patrol cars. The fuck? Let me go! We're the victims here! Are you listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officer paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. Are you alright? Are you injured? Oh, hell yeah, his voice is back! He was probably the detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really.
Well, that's a bit of silver lining then. Well then, have a good year!
The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd.
Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you for your hard work, Detective Oishi. Oishi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts. It's an honor for a detective from the 1st Division to come out all this way. The way Shion talked it didn't have a very pleasant tone.
It was a coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the perfectional office. I just made a little detour.
Please keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavors.
Ah, shucks. It's a good thing there were no injuries, though.
Oishi-san! We're done here. Let's go.
Well then, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make my way?
The detective named Oishi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car. It quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over so quickly I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers sharply. All right, that's a wrap, and don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me up. Are you okay, young Mabera? Next time, pick your fights a bit better. It's not like I wanted to fight. Are you hurt anywhere? If you hit your head, it would be a good idea to get an x-ray taken. An older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury. You were lucky this happened right in front of the station when I was busy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to gather as many people. Next time, be more careful. City kids these days are pretty unruly. Grumble. I was even warned by the old lady in the smock. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you're pretty good, Kei-chan. But I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with. Thanks, Mion. You saved my bacon there. Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. I heard from my sister. That fur seal keychain was yours, Kei-chan? Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant. And you ended up feeling so excited that you got mixed up in something so weird. Now it was my turn to face my go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on. Well, I was just unlucky. But you really saved me, Shion. You don't have to thank me. So, if you see somebody else getting bullied, help them out, okay? We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie, but the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree. You're coming into the restaurant, right? You must be tired, so why don't you relax for a bit? My treat. Seems that she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. I'm thinking about putting eggs in the ramen. I might put eggs in the ramen. Alright, check on ramen time. I am back! But my ramen is mush. My ramen is mush. It overboiled and it turned into mush. So now I have like porridge noodles. The water turned sludgy. When I tried pouring the water out, the ramen noodles, it didn't really work. It congealified, so I couldn't make eggs in it. I wanted to add eggs to it, but it was too late because it's overcooked, and now it's sludge. Yep, that's the verdict. Sludge. I'm sorry, ramen lovers. I don't know how to make ramen. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. Xian, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Here you go, iced coffee on the house. Just bring this coupon with you to register and it'll be in no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds. No bounds. But since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on my offer. Even though it had started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I had completely ruined it. But really, you saved my hide there. I'd really come to see you as reliable. Even I was scared, but Kei-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. While a little embarrassed by what she had just said, Xian made a show of folding her arms boldly. Xian, really, thank you. I was thanking Xian, but I really wanted to thank Mian. Mian, really, thank you. Now, cheer up a little. If you feel indebted, then when you have the chance, you should help somebody in need. Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble, please come and save me. Yeah, of course. It's a promise. You absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise. So if I'm ever in trouble, Kei-chan will come and save me. I hope trouble comes soon. You finally smiled, she said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek. A downtrodden Kei-chan is as good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile. That tickles! Stop! Thanks to Xian's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the incident finally began to relax a little. When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kind of hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes or something. Do you want some too, Kei-chan? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes. Don't worry, our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. Xian ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird. Hey, speaking of that, wasn't Xian in the middle of a shift? She's just been slacking off while talking to me. I told my uncle that you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have the manager's permission. That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that all right? It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. As the 2 of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with some chit-chat about what was on TV, celebrities, what kind of thing, hobbies, food, really nothing more than idle chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Xian being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi Mabera. Xian and Mian are the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mian admitted she was Mian. But given that, how come our conversation was this different? Because it's not Mian. Hey Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? That's not true. If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her. I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of platonic relationship. That's a pretty rare and viable thing to have, don't you think? I don't get what you're saying, but it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl. Hey, Kei-chan, that's sexist! Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mian and Xian for? Mian was Mian. She was the best friend a guy could have. No reservations, and head on shoulders above me when when it came to club activities. If I had met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this, I had no doubt. Then what about Xian? She was Mian's little sister, and it hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Xian, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mian and Xian? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I had stopped listening to Xian. Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening? Sorry. Yeah, I'm listening. This is just a hypothetical question, okay? Both me and my sister are in trouble, okay? We're dangling off the side of a cliff. Which one of us do you save? You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice. That's not a nice question. I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right? Right. You can only save either Xian or Mian. Who do you save? If it were Mian, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place, as if something she could easily get out of herself. But what about the normal frail Xian? I guess I'd have no choice. It's not my sister, right? If Mian and Xian were different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine. In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister is... Huh? Sorry, I messed up with what I was trying to say. Xian was trying to talk in a lighthearted manner, but I felt like there was something more behind her words. Was Mian trying to tell me something through Xian? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing, Xian, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around. More importantly, just now, were you surprised when everybody kept on showing up? Of course I was! If it were Rina or Satoko, that would have been one thing. But for all those people, young and old, together, they were all from Hinamazawa, right? Yeah, that's right. Everybody in Hinamazawa is pretty close-knit. An enemy of one is the enemy of all. Nobody is going to look on from the sidelines. You're a pretty reliable group of residents. If somebody is being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of the bully? It kind of sounds like the Mafia or the Yakuza's brand of unity. You shouldn't say something like that. It's something you should be thankful for. You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they? Maybe it's because of tradition? Hinamazawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions. There's been a history of the villagers uniting together each time to fight for the village's continued existence. For example, Kei-chan, did you know about the Hinamazawa Dam Project? Hinamazawa Dam Project? Let's see. I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before. About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamazawa underwater. Oh, that story. I think I heard my dad talk about that. But I'm pretty sure that plan was cancelled, right? We made them cancel it. Everybody banded together. So that was a well-earned victory. That sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended. The whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born. At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion. But then, the cat was let out of the bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamazawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. They even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowners sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project. It was all very precious when the land acquisition was still about money. Eventually, they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize land. It started at that point. The riot police began to get violent. Riot police? You mean the police? Why would they act violent? They punched. They kicked. There was a time I was hit. Right around here, I think. My skin split open and a whole lot of blood spilled out. Saying that, Xian indicated her temple by poking at it. What happened to the police? filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. You wouldn't be able to establish proof on who exactly hit you, and they could justify their actions by saying you were interfering with the police duties. My nana went off like a firework. After that, it was amazing, like a full-scale war. We weren't just going to sit by and idly file complaints. We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Hinamazawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamazawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamazawa. Either that bore fruit, or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago. We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. At that time, we were desperate, but now that it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory. The villagers' feelings of solidity and unity still haven't faded. Xian said as she focused off into the distance. I felt that those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. That kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often, bridging the generation gap and unifying the region. I think so too. The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact we were able to overcome it is huge. The fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after the another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. The sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been in Hinamazawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity. Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you could fully feel the solidarity in the village. But everybody shares it. Thoroughly. Even with somebody who just moved here like you, Kei-chan. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here, even though they were strangers whose names I don't even know. A hot feeling began welling up inside me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural, but here, that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was actually aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside of me. Sonozaki-san! The manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Xian. It seemed like it was time for work. Ah, okay, I'm coming! Sorry, looks like I have to get to work now. It's fine, thanks for hanging out with me, it was fun. Oh, are you going home? Yeah, my mom gets fussy if I'm not home by dinner time. It seemed that Xian wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough, that kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed me unlike that. I was about to say that I could stay for a little bit longer when Xian got up from her seat. Here, if you use this coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me. Convenient, isn't it? It's a perk I get on top of my salary. It's okay, I can pay for the pancakes myself. Hey, being so reserved doesn't fit you, Kei-chan. If I were my sister, you would have gladly let me pay for it. She said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told so with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me. Sonozaki-san! Sorry, could you take care of the register? Ah, yes, right away. Later, today was fun. Saying that, Xian smiled one more time at me. Oh, Mian, thanks a lot for today. I owe you one. If you really think that, then return the favor. I'm looking forward to it. After I said that, I realized I mistakenly called her Mian. I didn't know if she realized it or not.
You're okay. My porridge of ramen! It's so hot. Only the top has cooled off, because the rest is steaming pudge. It smells like eggs, but there's no eggs in it. Ow. It was hot. Kinda hurts. Maybe I should have added more ramen packet to it. Oh well. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. After dinner was valuable time well spent while the brain was at its most supplied in nutrients. You idiot! It's obvious that Tokyo Tower is taller! Ah! Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Catchy! Phone call from Sonozaki-san! Okay, Sonozaki, that's Mian! It was a little late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. She was probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mian we're talking about. She might even go as far as to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come over. By the way, it was 8 p.m. Hello? No way we're having a club battle right now. Huh? That's not it. I mean, it was Mian, but it was a very un-Mian-like way of talking? Huh? Could it be? Sorry, could it be you're not Mian, but Shion? That's right. Good evening. I'm sorry for calling so late. For Mian, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking, but since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person, with a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling. No, it's fine. What's up? Kei-chan, do you like sweets like cakes or desserts? There was no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton. That's great. Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. So they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts. The desserts at Angel Mort have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da! You say ta-da, but I can't see over the phone. Still, could it be? That's right! I have a taste testing ticket right here! If you don't mind sweets, how about it? When you say how about it, you basically mean, with that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say to be aware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way! If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name. Then everything will work out. When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat? For free? Yeah, it's free. There's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. This was such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't me posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They're the same person. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, Kei-chan. You're thinking this is too good to be true, right? Yeah, I mean, I would never. Snort. I heard from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie. I'm not averse to somebody like that. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mian would laugh. It's not like I was intending on it, but it just so happens that my shift ends early tomorrow. If it's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done. Your shift ends early tomorrow? Yeah, so while you take your time eating dessert, I'll finish up. Well, I didn't have any plans anyway. I don't mind hanging out with you for a bit. It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk. There was no reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on the offer. By the way, Kei-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we? Now that you say it, I guess we have. Since you said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. Hi, Kensuke! Welcome to the stream! Welcome! Thank you for joining! I hope you're having a nice day today! Hello! Huh?
What is Month's Mion saying?
Kei-chan, your voice just cracked. What's the matter?
It wasn't a video phone, but she could tell I was beet red.
Well then, you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave here. Good night.
Good night!
Xian finished with what she had called to say ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room. There's like nothing in your room. I've only been receiving favors from Xian, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved me from when I got involved with those thugs. She was supposed to be a different person, so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Xian directly. Tomorrow, I'll have to repay her somehow. Woo!
When they cry, Higurashi when they cry, I have ramen. Hot. I never have. I received a new tip. Yeah. We're on, what, 5?
I think we're at 5. Okay. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. Wait, can I quick save? Just a quick load. Okay. Wait, menu? Where are we? Alright, that's the end of chapter 4, so that means we're on chapter 5. Right? I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Xian for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger.
Ketty-kun, you seem kind of happy today. Did something good happen? Did it?
I guess it was obvious. Rena had questioned me with a happy look. That's right, why don't I invite Rena for dessert as well? No, if I recall correctly, Xian said something about having a ticket? At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Rena be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever. Yeah, I got a little lucky. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Rena, you'll definitely be jealous.
Whoa. What is it? I'm jealous. This lucky thing. Is it cute? Is it?
Cute? I wonder what Rena would think of the uniforms at Angel Mort. They'd definitely be a critical hit. Probably. It's probably pretty cute.
What? I'm jelly. What is it?
What kind of fortune were you blessed with? Huh? Could it be you participated in the draw at Angel Mort about 2 months ago and won? Hey now, I hadn't even transferred here 2 months ago. Oh, that's right. Then it's not the Angel's Dessert Festa, then. Mi-chan, what is the Angel's Dessert Festa, exactly? You know, there's the family restaurant called Angel Mort right by Okonomiya Station. Every season they hold an event to promote their new dessert menu. That's today. Oh, it's no use going. The restaurant is reserved for people who won the draw. Mion explained once again that what Xian explained to me last night.
Rena will have to stop by the restaurant sometime. I'll do my best to draw a winning ticket and aim to enter the next all-you-can-eat event.
Aha! Knock yourself out! By the way, this is just something I heard, but there's a rumor that the tickets are being sold on the black market for a pretty penny. Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Xian had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free, but it turned out that the ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Xian for had increased. Thanks. I didn't know it was worth so much, I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly. What? Did you say something? It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me as much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today, I'll thank Mion while she's Xian. Well then, this old man will take his leave here. The work today is going to be a little rough. Later! Mion waved her hand energetically as she left. Hey, Kechi-kun. Mi-chan has been kind of weird lately. Like she's elated or something? What? You think so? Rina was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Rina apparently felt something different. You don't know, Kechi-kun? I totally thought you knew. Rina's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile. Know what exactly? I was obviously weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Xian, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Rina paid it no head. Oh really? Oh really? I wonder what it is then. When Mi-chan is in a good mood, so is Rina. How? Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. I didn't know why, but Rina was in a really good mood. It was so infectious that I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful. Cicadas? But you see, Rina abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression had returned to a more somber one. But you see? You see, Mi-chan? Lately? She's been in a lot of pain. What do you mean? Pain. The pain that Rina was talking about probably wasn't physical. At first, she tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal. But like a wound, it began to fester and grow. Eventually, she was no longer able to bear the pain and woke up in the middle of the night. And then she phoned Rina. Mi-chan was crying. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? What am I talking about? Huh? What is Rina talking about? What? Hey, don't play dumb like that. Just now, you said. I don't know. Rina doesn't know anything. How? Rina spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall. Same. How? The room is spinning. That was dumb. That's what you get for getting carried away and spinning like that. So sorry. Oh, I think I feel sick. Big cough. Big cough. You can do it. I believe in you. I'll lend the ditz a shoulder to lean on. To be stumbling around like a newborn foal. Foal? At this age, foul? One of the two. At this age is actually quite a feat. Rina, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rina had brought up before never arrived. As soon as I got home, I tossed aside my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out fickle growls. Alright, let's go! To Angel Mort! It's time to face the land of endless dessert! Preparations for battle are complete. Tally-ho! Angel Mart had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Dessert Festa today, admitted by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? I found out the answer when I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter the restaurant. Are you a participant? Do you have a ticket? Yeah, well, I was lucky. As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It was like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What is going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside. So it's like that, huh? Seems like I should have invited Rina and the others. Thanks for the tip. But I'll pretend I didn't hear that. With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, their arms all reached out at once, like the souls of a damned seeking sucker. Sucker? The ticket! Get admit of the What selfish people? This was the only reason they were crowded in front of the restaurant? Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like the teeth on a giant rake and grasped at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. What a heartless dick! Grab him! This isn't something to joke about! I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I had entered a different world. What's going on? The miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. But inside of this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, with the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me, they were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew that I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Mart. Due to today's desserts festa, the restaurant is reserved for customers who won the draw. Could I ask for your name and ticket? I don't have a ticket, but I should be on the guest list. Mabera? Mabera. There it is. I'm sorry, but may I please have your full name? Kechi Mabera. My apologies for the inconvenience. You're here by special invitation, right? I'll show you to your seat. Please, this way. The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Xian arrived. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Mart. Hey Xian, thanks so much for today. I really appreciate it. You were a bit late, so I was getting worried. I'm really happy you came, though. It may have been because other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile. As you can see, there's a lot of customers here today. I'm not sure I'll be able to take a break. Please take your time and relax until I'm finished. When I'm done, let's go play somewhere, okay? Whispering just that last part into my ear, Xian winked and returned to the kitchen. Maybe it was because the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Xian seemed a bit bolder. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter. Sorry to keep you waiting! While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. You could eat all of these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general appeal to insane ones aimed at a specific audience, there were absolutely no gaps in their repertoire. No matter how you look at it, I don't think one person can eat this much. Well, let's just leave it at that for now. It didn't feel relaxing in here at all, probably because the fervor inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth seats were crammed with groups of 4. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts, and it wouldn't have been a surprise if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening in on the conversation. And what's things I heard? Angel Mart Somoe! Me? I bought my ticket for 70,000 on redacted auctions! I told work that I'm attending a relative's funeral. The uniforms here are the greatest. I wonder if the waitress would wipe it for me if I spilled some water on my pants right meow. Meow meow. I heard they're planning on selling Angel Mart figures. We'll have to pay head at the Next Wonder Festival. You're okay, Grim. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a nice day today. I'm reenacting anime men scoffing over waitress girls. They sell used Angel Mart uniforms on the 4th floor of a connected Anathema. But these cost 280,000 yen. 'Tis an absurd price. I will cost 80,000 yen. When Broma closed down, the going rate for theirs was 12,000. That's the price for used ones. Knockoffs are less than half of that. A knockoff from Redacted is fine with me. I wonder if they'll start selling them. Then they'll put it on my life-size figure I did buy off of Redacted for several 100,000. If I can wake up every day to an angel from Angel, that'll really get my gears going. The words spilling out of their mouths were pretty much all incomprehensible jargon, but they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality. Break my back? Okay.
No slouching. Okay, no slouching for me. Water, Maichi. Okay, water time, water time. Delicious. Maichi's first words, boogers. Yep, boogers. Sorry to keep you waiting. The next dessert is tropical cinnamon love affair. Is something the matter? No. It's kind of different inside the restaurant today. Our restaurant is pretty famous in their circles. Well, we were aiming for that, so it's all well and good. But during festas, there's something of the more hardcore crowd, so it can be a handful. The waitress informed me quietly with a wry smile. The customers seem rather riled up, almost like a pack of hyenas. Seems a lot of the customers today came from unreasonably far away. Those types of people are fairly prone to losing their self-control, so it's a little scary. If you don't keep your guard up, something bad can happen. What did she mean by keep your guard up? At that moment, a large crash resounded through the room. I turned around, startled to see that a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right onto a customer. Wait, isn't that Xian? I'm so sorry. Your food is, Oh, what have you done? The cheese that I bought at a certain specialty shop for a whole 1,800 yen are all sticky with frosting. What the hell is that? For somebody who just met with disaster, he seems awfully happy. How tragic! It seems that little Miss Waitress here will have to wipey and fuck from the bottom of my heart! From her heart! The conversation suddenly veered off in an odd direction. Hey, what did he say? Wipey? Did he want Xian to wipe him down? Right over that obviously aberrant tent he had pitched over his crotch? But that is... Wipey. The wipey chant quickly spread throughout the room. Totally concerned, Xian went pale. She looked over to a more experienced waitress for help, but was only met with a head shaking out of pity. Sonozaki-san was tripped. Customers who do that to purposely get their clothes dirty have been on the rise rate lately. Ah, so you're saying she was tripped? Then what happened just now wasn't an accident? It was on purpose? The regular girls are careful about it, so they definitely won't end up like that. But Sonozaki-san is only a seasonal hire, so she had her guard down. The customers today could easily pick up on that, so she's been targeted since this morning. What's the manager doing? He should just kick those thugs out! We're in the service industry, so there's not much we can do about it. She laughed as she said that in a resigned tone. Xian trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hands as she turned bright red. The man who had been doused in frosting splayed out on the bench, putting the cream-covered tent over his crotch on full display. Still mentally unprepared, her trembling hands inched forward, goaded on by the onlookers. Come! It is the time for the wipey! From my male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at, but from a woman's point of view, this was obviously pure humiliation. Yeah. Wipey. When I was trapped by those thugs and had been paralyzed with fear, Xian fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Still, as humiliating as it was, Xian was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Even these guys, they were just going to jeer at her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they were going to eat Xian alive or anything. Bruh, she saved you after you kicked the people's bikes, and it was your fault. Fucking help her. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards. Even if I was scared, but Kei-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Xian saved me without a second thought. What about now? These sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to pin the blame on Xian. This time, our roles were reversed. Hey, Kechimabera, if you don't save her now, when will we be able to repay the debt you owe her? You scared, Kechimabera? At that time, Xian? No, Mian didn't even show a hint of hesitation. Then what about now? I'm not hesitating. Then what? If you're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her?
Now resign yourself to your fate! Shut up, you greasy fat ass! Get out of here before I get angry! I grabbed Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me. K-chan? It seems you don't understand. Yonder waitress was the one who went mind panics. This is her punishment. The one who needs punishing is you. Enough with the empty words. If you're a man, talk with your fists. Thud smash! My body was lifted into the air like nothing. I was thrown right back into my own seat. This guy is strong. No matter how you look at it, Athletic and this Lardo aren't even in the same area code. Many otaku are unexpectedly well versed in some obscure martial art. Don't be underestimating us! The man smirked, showing off his Gumline? Gumline. I think it was Gumline. K-chan, are you okay? Damn it, how lame must I look right now? You were tripped, weren't you, Shion? They're the ones who are in the wrong here, so don't let them take advantage of you.
That may be, but it was still my fault.
Whoa! One more time! Let's do it! Snap, thud, crash! Don't you go thinking that this is enough to make me give up! One more time! Whack, snap, thunk! Ho ho ho! You're all talk! I'm not done yet! Rise my will to fight! Not just running, I planted every one of my steps firmly as I closed the distance to the lard ball. Each time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my burning spirit flare up from the point of impact. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. As I stepped forward in that vicious flow of time, I calmly measured the gap between us. With our difference in height, reach was my ultimate advantage. There was an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. I unleashed my iron fist of righteous anger, but it flew towards his face slowly, like I was punching underwater. Reacting to that, with a smirk on his face, the fat so easily slipped inside my punch. I hadn't realized it until now, but in this mired time, I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly swung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whipped punch, and descended in an arc. That arm swung around like the arms of a clock, and came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated his entire body like a top, followed by another rotation. Combining defense and offense, it was a brilliant counter. That's right, 3 times. I was thrown after 3 rotations, I think. In this vicious region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, the sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. Crash! You lack training, young man! I was loath to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I couldn't win through force of will alone. After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was lying down in my own seat. Thankfully, you weren't injured. The more experienced waitress from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over. Are you okay? Doing that all for my sake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, too. I wasn't much help. I've never won a fight before. No, you just tried to help me, made me happy. I'm not joking. It's just that I was thinking that it was lucky K-chan came here today. As she said that, she stuck her tongue out teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding in her hands. Sonozaki-san, you could take your break now. You still have 1 or 2 hours left, don't you? No, it's fine. Even though it's just part-time, it's still a paying job. I want to work properly while I'm on the clock. So really, you don't have to worry about me. She couldn't even put up a brave front. I would never even think for a second that Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she had been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was reality. K-chan, don't mind me. Please eat as much dessert as you can. When you're done, we'll have you fill out a survey. Well then, I've got to get back to the floor. After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her. Excuse me, could I borrow your phone? The phone? It's by the register. I'll show you where. I pulled a 10-yen coin from my wallet. This wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact. but I could just cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now was not the time for tears. I had to fight. If I recall, 1 ticket is good for up to 4 people, right? Is it alright if I call over 3 more people? Yes, that's fine. For the time being, I'll write them down on the guest list. Could I have their names? I turned around and glared at the greasy hooligan who subjected Shion to that humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, punk. The first is that I owe Shion. The second is that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. That's true. And the third is that we're the most powerful club members in history! Please add Rina Ryugu, Satoko Hojo, and Rika Furude to the guest list. Understood, I'll do that. I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. You fat asses, prepare to meet your maker! You're so mean. But they are being very sleazy. This is a nice restaurant! How? The uniforms are cute! Rina wants to wear them too! How? On top of that, we're being treated to dessert. I'm deeply moved. Yeah, eat as much as you like. Don't worry about my share. Kechi-san, enough with the charades. Let's get to the point. Rina and Rika-chan put down their forks when Satoko broached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table. I beg of you. I don't care if you make fun of how pathetic I am. Please lend me your strength. The 3 of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior. What's the matter? Something happened, didn't it? Didn't it? Actually, Myeon's younger sister, Shion, is working part-time at this restaurant. Ah, that little sister you were talking about, right? Could it be her? Could it? She resembles her. Resemble? That's just Myeon with her hair down, isn't it? I didn't know what to say. If Kechi says that's Shion, then that's Shion. They might be twins, but can they really look like that much alike? They're called monozygotic twins. They really can look identical. Rina gave the most plausible explanation, so everybody else was convinced. Well then, do you believe me? I'll get to the point then. I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. Also, how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it. That's awful. Poor Shi-chan. However, for you to be unable to help her, there should be a limit to how unsightly you can be. There's nothing I can say to that. Satoko-chan, to admit that you lost and to seek help is a very difficult thing to do. Kichi-kun chose to help Shi-chan rather than save his pride. So pathetic. Rina's follow-up stung a bit. But I could only be thankful that she understood. Satoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there were no malign intentions behind her words. Then what should we do? Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika-chan's suggestive silence and reclined with my own quiet resolve. Well, I thought it would be something like that. It is a bit much more for Kechi-san to handle alone. Huh? Then you'll help? Of course, Kechi-kun. We'll help anybody who's being bullied. I remembered when I was cornered by those thugs, what Shion had said about the strong feeling of solidarity and Hinamizawa really began to hit home. However, Kechi Mabera, now is not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight! Sorry, I owe you one! You tried your best, but you didn't stand a chance alone. How sad, how sad. Rika-chan gently pat my head for me, but there was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with a strong, dependable feeling of leave the rest to us. Myeon can't join us due to various circumstances, so I'll temporarily be taking command. Our strategy will revolve around Shion's defense and the extermination of the enemy's combat capability. Who's the enemy? Are there a lot of them? From this point forward, anybody who messes with Shion shall be considered an enemy combatant. There are no rules of engagement. Compensation will be the dessert you just ate. Any questions? Everybody had already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clamoring around inside the restaurant like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her hand. What is it, Rika-chan? Do we have to show mercy? Of course we don't have to! We have no need to show mercy to the rabble that would dare lay a finger on Myeon's little sister! Then it's okay, Kechi? Rika-chan was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. I'm counting on you, Rika-chan. I, Kechi Mabera, shall assume all responsibility. Root them! Rout them?
Alrighty, Rina's going to do her best too.
Sorry, please do.
Kechi-san, you don't have to be so tense. Well, just wait and see. By the time you finish that parfait, we'll have finished cleaning up too.
Well then, everyone, let's give it our all. Go for it, yay! Yay! Thus, the most powerful war band the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader. But when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. If all of them combined their strengths to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring.
Sonozaki-san, 5 deluxe parfaits for table 7.
Sure thing! Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort that she didn't have the breathing room to pay attention to her feet.
Hee, comrades, here she comes yet again! This time we'll have her spill everything on my pants and have her wipey right down to my underwear.
It was the same wipey scheme that had occurred just a short time earlier. This time, another one of them was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack. Rina, this is Kechi. Ambush them around tables 5 and 6. Rina, do you copy?
The restaurant's uniform's so cute! How? I want to take them home!
Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Rina. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rina was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. From a normal person's point of view, it was probably like having a fox guard or henhouse. But when it comes to Rina, things are different. Cute mode, 120% synchronization. We've won.
When Rina is in that state, even the laws of physics don't apply.
Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, were being targeted by those sleazebags. Now, my comrades! Helmet for Shining Lucifer of the Hermes Mecha! A leg staked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Cats! 3 of them at once!
Fap! Yeah! Hi, Cadmus! Welcome to the stream! Welcome! Thank you for joining! I hope you're having a nice day today! How?
It happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles. Yeah! What is this madness? Rina teetered into view and gave them a warning?
How? No mischief, okay? No means no. No!
Rina's going to be the one to take her home! This girl, what's with that strange technique? The human scum clutched at their bruised ankles as they passed out.
That's our Rina-san. No matter how many times I see it, always frightening quick.
Yeah, it's an unbreakable barrier. Anyone within a 2-meter radius who attacks Shion is completely obliterated by Rina. As Shion was making her rounds through the restaurant, there were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands.
How? Kechi-kun, is this Rina? This is Rina. There's nobody left that'll bother Shi-chan, so I'm going to take her home now.
Rina, this is Kechi. Good work. Please continue the mission. Also, permission to take home denied. I repeat, permission to take home denied.
Then I'll just look. How?
I guess just looking is fine. That wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who had to try to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching at their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises. Currently, we have finished anti-defending all enemy forces. Proceeding to the next phase. Satoko, this is Kechi. What's your status?
This is Satoko? That's a rude way to ask. Kechi-san, exactly who do you think I am?
Satoko was in the kitchen. She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with ordered chits and their destinations, and was now sorting through the freshly made desserts.
Hey, what are you doing? Now, Sonozaki-san, it's all right. Just leave it to her. More importantly, we're taking all these orders out at once, so I'm counting on you.
The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after the other. All the desserts that had passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once.
How? Lots of cute desserts are coming! How?
I think you know this, but don't touch them. At least, if you still value your life.
I know, but how?
Certainly, they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They were all works of art that you could enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Satoko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of that fact were the men now stuffing their faces. This is... Almost right away, they realized that something was wrong. Satoko, what did you mix in there? It couldn't have been salt or Tabasco, right?
My, what are you saying, Ketchy-san? You said no mercy. I might not look like it, but when I get down to business, I like to be very thorough.
As she said that, she twirled a dubious file in her fingers before putting it away smartly into her pouch. What'd you do, poison them?
Rika, this is Satoko. The customers are moving. Escort duty is all yours.
Leave it to me. Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika-chan anywhere. Where could she be lurking? She is small. Clatter, clatter. Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something, the restless fidgeting. And that look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling? Written on that placard was the word restroom. They began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching at their stomachs. I think I was a little too greedy. Where's the washroom? Me too. Not a nyapper one, but a nyapper two. I need to cash out meow. Where's the toilet? I found it! You're in for it now! I felt dirty just thinking about what Satoko probably did to the desserts. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting to the restroom was crammed with about 10 men. What is this? As I peered over to see what was happening, whoa! It seemed that the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench. There was no way to use it in this state. Damn that Satoko, what a frightening display of power. No, this wasn't Satoko's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean it up. I can't do my business like this. What to do, meow, comrades? It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there were one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that. Meow, it's come to this. It's time for the last resort. Faced with a moral dilemma, the man only had one other option. Woman's restroom. Isn't using the girls' room going to get us in trouble? I'm pretty sure there's no female customers today. Why didn't I think of that before? Pant. Women's toilets are the best. What a brazen bunch they are. The men, sweat now pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls' room without any hesitation. Well, I don't know. All I have to say is, I worked at a store, and compared to the two, I enjoyed the woman's bathroom more than cleaning the boys' bathroom. But that's just my observation of where I worked. The boys' bathroom was strange. But the girls' bathroom was a normal bathroom. I don't know. The men, sweat now pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls without hesitation. Me? There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. This was all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I should never underestimate you. This is, you see, mademoiselle. Me. The men's room is a bit dangerous at the moment, so we just want to borrow the toilet here, right? Meow? Meow? Me. But I guess it's alright after all, right, my comrades? Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way to try and do their business. This was the most they could do after all. If it were a man in full club mode, for example someone like me, they would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. Now what are you going to do, you fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion hasn't been paid.
If you're in trouble, I could help you.
So that would be much appreciated. How would you do that?
Oh, it's her talking. You can use one of the toilets outside. I'll show you to them.
That would be perfect! Please, please! At this rate, it'll end up becoming group anemia, please!
That's no fun. Rika-chan, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step.
In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture. Mademoiselle, this is the toilet far from here!
We'll get there soon.
Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant.
Kichi-kun, finish it! Give him hell!
Yeah, leave it to me! I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant. What is the meaning of this? We're at Card 1 here! Listen up, you tubs of lard. You know what happens if you even set 1 foot outside this door, right? What is the meaning of this preposterous statement?
Look, it's written right here on your ticket. Not valid for re-entry. See? You're free to use any toilet you want, but the moment you step outside that door, you can't come back!
Boom! You remember this!
I don't want to guide anybody who says scary things like that.
Everybody panicked as Rika-chan began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off.
Thank you very much for coming!
We shall return! The bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them.
Nipa!
How pathetic!
Too easy! We did it! Yay!
Rina and Satoko clapped their hands together. Whew, I couldn't hold a candle to those guys by myself, but when we get the group together, we sent them packing like a herd of cattle.
Without opponents this week, any of us could take them on by ourselves. Kichi-san, you need to up your game.
I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. Damn it! One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them. But I'm really glad we were able to protect Mi-chan's little sister.
Now there's none of those bad people who are pulling pranks left.
You're blessed to have such wonderful friends, Sonozaki-san. The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats.
You did that? For me? I mean...
Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen.
Whoa, Shi-chan is cute! They really are twins! How?
Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her. I think you know this already, but Sonozaki-san is very grateful. As a representative of the floor staff here, I also extend my gratitude.
Oh, let's clap! Okay, we're all clapping. We're all clapping for joy. Clapping for happiness and joy.
The applause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only the other waitress, but also the customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding on our efforts. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return.
Oh, good work! Did everything go all right? You took a while.
I'm sorry. I got lost on the way back. It was a lot of trouble.
Ahaha! Rika-chan likes to stray down some pretty strange roads, so she gets lost pretty often.
How'd she get lost guiding people to a nearby toilet?
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Rika has a lot of strong points that more make up for that.
I can see that. That's expression in the girls' room. You're quite the thespian.
Kichi was being horrible. He was thinking if I were in their shoes, I'd just run her over and rush into the washroom.
Well, why? Did what I was thinking show up on my face again?
Kichi-kun was a pervert?
No, I mean, what? Kichi-kun was a pervert. I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 identified men were taken into custody in Hayama. The men claimed to have traveled from Shishibon City by foot to find a toilet. but the spot they were taken into custody was excess kilometers away from the Shishiban phone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was.
Well, thanks for treating me. I'm happy that you called me here today. Oh, are you going home already? You can stay a little longer.
Who's talking?
I was in the middle of organizing some drawers. If I leave it like that, I won't be able to put out the futon. Ah, I guess that's true.
Oops, looks like I called her at a bad time.
Yeah, when Rina phoned her, she was in the middle of cleaning her room, but she still came.
Well, it was an emergency, so it couldn't be helped.
Besides that, I got to eat a lot of sweets, so I'm very happy.
Thanks for today. Sorry for calling you out suddenly.
Tell Shion I said bye.
I'll be taking my leave then.
Rina-san, please take your time. Yeah, I will. Later.
Oh, wait, so both of them left. Rika and Satoko, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. I ran out of water. Oh, no, I lied. Now I ran out of water. While Rina and I were having a discussion about the dessert we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee.
Oh, did the two little ones already leave all?
Whoops, I switched those words. Hearing them called the little ones was so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing. Apparently they were in the middle of cleaning, so they went home. Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people.
I heard from my senior. It seems that you went through a lot of trouble for my sake. It was no trouble at all. None other than Shi-chan was in a pinch after all. Oh, is it alright if I call you Shi-chan? It matches with me-chan, so I thought it'd be cute. Well, whatever you want.
Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rina started talking to her. Rina is pretty sharp about some things, so Shion was probably worried that Rina would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the 2 of us.
She was a bit upset with Rina. Maybe she thought I was being too friendly? How?
She's just embarrassed.
Still, they really do look the same. Instead of twins, it's like there's another Mi-chan.
They look the same, but the atmosphere around them, or rather their insides, are completely different. I think those types of twins are pretty interesting, though.
You think that, Kechi-kun? I think they're identical on the inside, too.
It somehow became silent. Rina was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. For somebody like me, who could never stop talking, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. Rina's off-put mannerisms seemed to imply I said something I shouldn't have. That unpleasantness carried on for a little while. Rina, you said it today, right? That Mion was hurting?
Did I say something like that?
Don't play dumb with me. You definitely said it, on the way home from school. Rina answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she had said that. As thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Rina wanted to say that I was the one who hurt Mion. But when? Me?
Hypothetically, if something like that happened,
it's not something I did out of malice. I continued the conversation but left out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. Oh, that was you?
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think Kechi-kun had any bad intentions.
Rina replied, also leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion, but that confirmed it. I don't know how it happened, but it seemed that I had hurt Mion, and Rina was upset with me due to the fact I hadn't realized it?
I don't want you to misunderstand. It's not like Rina is mad at you.
Seeing right through what I was thinking, Rina said that as she smiled even more gently than usual.
It's just that, how do I say this? It's hard.
If I made a mistake, please say so clearly. I'm so thick-headed I disgust even myself. If there's something I should apologize for, then I'd want to know even a little quicker so I can make up for it.
I don't think that Kechi-kun made a mistake. Depending on how you look at it, Mi-chan might be the one who's being unfair. Taking the stance that the girl was the one being unfair might be unfair in itself.
What Rina said was draped in mystery. Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion. I'm begging you, Rina. Mion is one of my best friends. I don't want to leave something between us that could cause problems later on. So tell me, how did I hurt her?
I can't tell you.
You need to realize something like this for yourself. Rina was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact that she had this strength of will surprised me for a moment. I'm asking you because I can't figure it out, you know? My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Rina was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor. Well then, I guess just a hint is fine. This is special, okay? Sorry. Please, I'll think about this seriously. Rina looked around the restaurant, searching for Xian. Xian was working enthusiastically, but without confidence as usual. Shi-chan, if she ties her hair up, it's impossible to tell them apart from Mi-chan, right? Yeah, that's true. So if Mi-chan let down her hair, would she be impossible to tell apart from Shi-chan? Probably, but what does that have to do with anything? What if that her being the younger twin was a lie? That she was just Mi-chan pretending to be her sister? What would you think? Rina was sharper than her daily behavior belied? I was hesitant in verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer. It might be unfair to answer a question with another question, but if, like you say, Mian is just pretending to be Xian, what purpose would that serve? After maintaining the silence for a while, Rina glanced at the clock. That's what I want you to think about. That was maybe too much of a hint, how? After thanking me for the dessert, Rina stood up from her seat. Sorry, I was asked to buy a few things, so it's about my time I left. Is it okay with you if you tell Xian I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye? Is it okay with you if you tell Xian? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell her. Sorry. Huh? That Rina is so short-tempered. Sorry for getting angry. Kichi-kun isn't the only one at fault here. Rina was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized. I think to Mi-chan it's something that doesn't bother her much anymore. So if you want to forget the whole thing happened, that's fine too. But you see, as a girl, I hope that Kichi-kun realizes it by himself and comes to apologize of his own volition. How? Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. Goodbye, Rina. I'll miss you. While I was staring into space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Sorry to keep you waiting. Hehe, I'm finally done. It was Xian, who had changed her into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me. Thank you so much for today. Everything was delicious. That smile? We were all really happy with it. Oh no, don't mention it. But I'm glad everybody had fun. Huh? That girl that was just here left as well? She had some shopping to do. She said she was sorry for leaving without saying anything. I see. Well then, should we leave as well? Even though I'm off duty, I'm still nervous around the workplace. We ended up strolling around without any destination in particular. I had been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness. It's gotten dark already, even though I promised I'd be finished early. Xian seemed upset that there wasn't much time left. Oh well, at least we've got a little time to chat like this. Saying that, Xian set out for a 3-line boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home. Well then, I guess I should start with an introduction. I was mistaken for my sister when we first met, so we never got to properly introduce ourselves. I could only smile and laugh wryly. My name is Xian Zonozaki. I'm only similar to my older sister in appearance. My sister is rough around the edges and hot-headed, but I'm a composed and methodical person. I remember what Rina and I had been talking about earlier. I said that they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Rina said they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off, but Rina figured out that Xian was Mian. Also, related to that, she said that I had hurt Mian? Rina had given only one hint. That was, why is Mian pretending to be Xian? Xian, what did you hear about me from Mian? My sister seems to have taken a liking to you. She talks about you quite a bit, like about club activities, about getting pranked and pranking you back, boyish kind of stories. You really do get along. Boyish kind of stories, huh? Come to think of it, I think there was something Xian told me before. Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened that hurt Mian? Mian herself said that she wished she'd been born a boy, and that being a girl didn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she? Kei-chan, you look like you're having fun. Huh? No, that's not true.
Even though you're bad at hiding things, you sure like to lie, don't you? Still, I don't hate you for it. Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Even though Xian was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I had hurt Mian. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle that Rina had left with me. Hey, see that? Don't you think it's pretty? You think even a guy would find it pretty? Yeah, it's pretty. Xian was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy her anything, and I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about. But I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation. Kei-chan, is this your first time doing this kind of thing? Yeah, it is. If somebody didn't bring me into these accessory shops, I don't think I'd set foot in one my entire life. Not that. I meant more like this. What? I leapt back when she suddenly linked her arm with mine. Hey, you don't have to act so surprised. It's not so embarrassing to link arms with a girl, is it? Xian's expression was a little bit miffed, but suggested at the same time. I'm not that embarrassed. If you want some arms, I can spare one or two. Here! Hee. Kei-chan, you really know how to entertain someone. I see why my sister took a liking to you. If you don't want my arm, I'm taking it back. Aw, come on. I'm happy to have it. Laughing in good spirit, she unlocked her arm with mine. My heart skipped a beat. This question might be a bit mean, but I want to enjoy seeing your reaction. Kei-chan, have you ever been arm in arm with a girl before? Around a bonfire at a field trip doesn't count, by the way. That little devil. She was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be. Well, if field trips are out, this is rough. Hee. I thought as much. That impish laugh. It really is the same as Mian's. You really are Xian, right? You're not just Mian saying that you're Xian, are you? Are you thinking that my sister might pretend to be me? I thought you were twins until just now, but that way you mess around is just like Mian. You're just saying that. You can tell us apart easily. What do you mean by that? If my sister was holding your arm like this, would you get nervous? I would. I'd be completely on edge worrying about when she would go for an arm lock. Xian laughed so hard she had to hold on to her sides. Hey, is it really that funny? You're tearing up. Tearing? No. It's just, I was just thinking about how hopeless my sister is. She isn't even able to get a young man hot and bothered while she's arm in arm with him. She really is a failure as a woman. I remember once again that I'd heard someone say that before. Sometimes I think that my sister would have been better off if she'd been born a boy. If she did, I might have fallen for her. Just kidding. Mian did say something about wanting to be born a boy. My sister is on the fence as to whether she wants to be a boy or a girl. Well, it's the price she pays for living in an awkward lifestyle. Just leave her be. You've been saying some pretty harsh things about your sister right now. Mian has some soft parts to her that I don't like. The way that Xian talked to somehow sounded cold. Xian, do you not get along with Mian? Well, we get along well enough. Still, there's a few things for which I can't forgive her, as her, my sister. Hey, look at that! Don't you think it's cute? I turned around to look at where Xian was pointing. What was there was the familiar display window of a toy shop. The same shop that was staged for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What Xian was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort of girls would like. I wonder why girls would like these kinds of things. It's because they're cute. Don't you think they're cute, Kei-chan? Dolls are scary. I'm a man, so I don't really get that vibe. Bruh, you can still be cute and be a man. Now, which one do you think is the cutest out of all these, Kei-chan? Xian, pulling on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar. I've seen those four over there somewhere. Oh, I guess they really are famous. If even you know about them. Xian sounded impressed. These are new dolls that were just brought in from England. They still have some available here, but around the cities, they have trouble keeping them on the shelves. Even though they're supposed to be inexpensive, it seems they're starting to come at a premium. I guess girls still like these kinds of things even as they grow up. It depends on the person, but I think that girls who don't like dolls and stuffed animals are pretty few and far between.
Even my tomboy of a sister said these were adorable. Oh? Even Mion says they're adorable. That is pretty amazing. That's right, I just remembered. The store owner gave this one to us after Sunday's event. Except for Mion, who was a relative. Everybody had gotten something. I really do think that one's the best. That frilly dress really gives it something. That's it. That's the one the shop owner gave to me. So it seems, Xian replied softly but clearly, Uncle Yoshiro gave those out as thanks for helping liven things up at Sunday's event. It seems he gave them to the 4 friends my sister brought along. So you got the doll with the dress then. What did you think? It was really cute, right? As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute. So, what did you do with the doll? I wasn't really going to do anything with it, so I gave it to someone. To who? As Xian laughed, I could hear an audible click run through my head like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. Oh.
Thank you very much for today, everyone. You made the event turn out great. It's not much, but here's something extra for today.
Ah, Uncle Yoshiro, isn't there a little something for me too? My, quite an adorable one, is it not? When Satoko and Rika-chan opened the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside. Wow, they're so cute! Can I take them home? I really can? Which means there's something for me too? Whoa, I got a pretty adorable one. It was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one you'd used to play house. Rina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Satoko was the same, and Rika-chan too? I see. It wasn't just Rina, Satoko, and Rika-chan. There was one other person who seemed jealous. Ahaha! Kei-chan got the one that fits him the least. Not wanting for her expression to give it away, she had said that to hide her embarrassment. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty. I can admit it's adorable, but a doll with changeable clothes is eh. If you walked around with it, then you'd be treated like a weirdo starting tomorrow. Definitely. Mion's usual teasing way of talking. I looked around to see who I should give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her, but I didn't. Huh? You're giving it to me? To Rina? Thank you! Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Rina. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have just been standard practice to give it to her? At that time, I had noticed that something was wrong. That's why I said it. Just protecting myself. If I didn't give it to Rina, then walking the streets at night would be scary. Ahaha! No doubt, no doubt! I thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I didn't notice it. I had thought to give it to Mion. Why didn't I? Hehehe, you know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy. Mion herself has said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize that I had hurt her. That's right. Mion is more suited for cool things, so I think having you help out here was the right choice. Huh? Xian asked, probably thinking she misheard me. That uniform? It would never suit somebody like Mion. But if it's Xian, I think it works. Huh? You mean that, Xian, like Rina often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy that I complimented Xian, saying that it didn't suit Mion, but that it suited Xian. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy. Mion's youngest twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Xian has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Xian got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Mion made a strange face that was both angry and happy at the same time. It seemed she was happy that I said Xian was cute. Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. I'm not my sister. That was how she said it. Xian was insistent that she wasn't Mian. She was saying that she was Xian, and that I shouldn't think of her as Mian. When Mian was Xian, it carried a special meaning. Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's what Rina said. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Rina, how much did Mian pay you exactly? That's not true! Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Rina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Kechi-kun. There never was a riddle to begin with. Rina was saying the answer right from the beginning. So then, I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, I know Kei-chan didn't do anything wrong. At least he didn't intend to. Yeah, Kechi-kun isn't the type of person to hurt others, so there's no reason for you to feel hurt by this Mi-chan. Then what is it? Frustration? Sadness? I don't know at all. Did you want it? The doll, I mean. Even if you gave it to me, Rina, that wouldn't solve anything. You're right. How about this, Mi-chan? Try asking Kechi-kun. You might be able to solve the problem if you tackle it head-on. There's no way I could do that. Is it too embarrassing to do that now? I want to try again, as somebody other than Mian. This time, I can be more honest with myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty fond of the relationship I have with Kei-chan. This might be selfish, but one more time. Kechi-kun will definitely notice. I wonder if that's true. Rina will cheer you on too, so let's find a way for you to ease your sadness. Believe me, I won't let anything happen that will make you cry, Mi-chan. I'll believe. Kechi-kun will definitely come to understand. He'll say he's sorry for saying something so callous. Then he'll bring you to the store and buy that doll for you as a present. Yeah. And then, Mi-chan, you'll say thank you. You can't fool around. Say it honestly. Yeah. Ugh. If I said I wanted it, Kei-chan, would you buy it for me? Mian said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. I would have reflectively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment, but like Mian, I quelled that impulse. Okay, Mian, as thanks for everything until today, I'll buy you whichever one you want. My voice cracked with unfamiliar words. In order to not lose to Mian trying her best, I tried my best as well. But I'm not Mian, I'm Xian. Xian then. I'll buy it for you, Xian. Xian looked down, red-faced. She pointed at the doll in the dress through the store window. Is it really okay? The one in the dress is a little expensive, isn't it? This isn't a matter of price. This is a matter of feelings. When I was saved by Kei-chan from those unsavory customers today, I was really happy. Even though my coworkers didn't save me, Kei-chan did. You grabbed me by the shoulder really firmly, right? Right then, you were really cool. Even then, I was so embarrassed, I couldn't properly express my gratitude. I clamped my hand down on Xian's head and ruffled her hair roughly, like how I would to Rina and the others. When I did that, Xian, like Rina, would have spaced out and blushed slightly. You don't have to think too hard about it. I should have just given it to you back then. If I did that, then everybody would have had a good laugh. Xian didn't respond. She had turned bright red like she was trying to hold back both laughter and tears. I'll go buy it for you right now. Wait right there. I'll go with you. Saying that, she grabbed onto my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore. I think I know why my sister likes you. Hey, is it alright if I start to like you a bit too, Kei-chan? The unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. Whoa, what am I doing? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Xian into the store with me. Oh no. Excuse me! I want to buy that doll in the dress that's in the window! After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. Ha-ha! Kei-chan! And why are you here? This has nothing to do with you. I'm on a date with Kei-chan right now. Huh? What? Why is Kei-chan... Why is Kate... Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me like with an expression of confusion and surprise. But that was the same with me! If she was there, then who was next to me? I said it right at the beginning. I'm Shion Sonozaki, my sister's younger twin. Kei-chan, you even called me Shion, didn't you? Shion, saying that, pouted cutely. What is going on? Tell me, Shion! Not much. I was wondering what kind of person this Kei-chan you were so infatuated with was. So I happened to give him a ticket to the dessert festa. There, when I was being bothered by all sorts of troublesome customers, Kei-chan gallantly appeared and saved me by kicking them all to the curb or something like that. What? Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost. Mion, you phoned me yesterday, right? I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I delivered that bento for you, didn't I, Kei-chan? That was me, right? Or was it my sister? The person known as Mion Sonozaki put together a bento and bravely went to a boy's home to deliver it, maybe? Oh, you're a lot bolder than you look, sis. With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head. No, I don't know what I did. I don't know. See, Kei-chan? My sister says she doesn't know. So everything's up until yesterday was me, Shion Sonozaki. You might have thought it was my sister pretending to be me, but with this, there's no doubt, right? I couldn't tell up from down at that moment. If there was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from shock. Now, little Miss Shopkeeper, could you wrap that doll on the window? It's the first present from the person I've come to love, to make sure you tie it up nicely with a ribbon. Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. My brain has stopped working. What? Huh? Kei-chan! What is going on? Well, let's go. Kei-chan, it's already dark out, so I'll see you home. Sis, sorry but could you phone the house in Okonomiya and have them send out a car? Maybe a van that we can fit a bike into, please? In contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment. Oh, Kei-chan! After that, Mion's grumbles were unrelenting. Oops. You're bad. You should have just listened and been like, yeah, that's sister. They're twins. It's good. It's chill. It's all good, chill, fun. Ooh, it hasn't been a while. We got a new tip. That's always fun. Okay, I've been at this for almost 3.5 hours. Fun! Thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope everyone enjoyed their time with me and enjoyed the ride of the Higurashi. We are on chapter... I don't even know. I think we're 6. Well, this is the end of chapter 5, right? Yeah. So this is the end of chapter 5, so we're going to be moving on to chapter 6. Thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope everyone enjoyed their time with me and hanging out. And I'm sorry if the microphone setting is a little weird, and I'm sorry that if I broke your eardrums with my mic. But thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope everyone has a nice rest of their evening, morning, night, whatever time of day it is. And if you enjoyed, please leave a follow, and maybe you can catch our live stream sometime. Thank you everyone for joining, and I hope everyone enjoys their day and has a nice time. Bye bye for now. Good night. Good night.